I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Gatao 2, Rise of the King. When a zealous gang leader plans to take out a friend-turned-rival for the control of his turf, international tensions complicate the battle to be the boss. Now, before I get into this, I want to take you through the first movie, Gatao, that came out in 2015. Now, the first movie was about a guy named Ping who got locked up. He was the only one that got locked up through the clan. The guy with the blue hat is his best friend. After 5 years in jail, he gets released and his friend helps him work out at the flea market. But this other rival gang still got beef and they trying to start shit. And it's really all about taking over territories and whatnot. Now, this guy's name is Fu. He's Ping's right-hand man and his girlfriend Lily's brother. I'll tell you why he's important in a minute. He tries to cut deals with this guy named Michael's on the other side of the gang. And trust me, Michael does not mind murking niggas. Hell, he ended up having both presidents of the other organization be assassinated. All for money and power. And that's Lily, by the way, Ping's girlfriend. Once Ping got out of jail, he was staying with his grandma Nini. The beef between Michael and Ping comes to a head, and there's a lot of casualties involved. And I mean a whole lot. Michael was working for this guy who was the head of the organization, but he eventually dethrones him and takes over. But before that, there's an all-out war. Fu ends up riding with Ping, and in the final battle, Michael hits Ping with a rock repeatedly, but then Fu shoots him in the neck and kills this nigga. And because of the blunt force trauma, Ping ends up dying too. Trust me, it was a lot of freaking mayhem. So if you ever get a chance to check out the first Gataos on YouTube, so if you want to see it, type in 2015 afterwards, because that you'll know that's the first one. But it only has it in Indonesian and Taiwanese. I tried to find the English subs, I couldn't find it. So Gatao 2 came out in 2018, it's 2 hours long. Spoiler alert, let's get it. So it starts off with this scene with these guys in the sauna. This boss just sitting there chilling in the sauna. All of a sudden they murk his ass with glass bottles, done deal, dead. That's crazy how his blood made the whole thing look like a yin-yang symbol. Then we got this scene at the warehouse, and our protagonist here is this guy named Q, just chilling, smoking a cigarette, and they're all just waiting on the boss to show up. And then comes boss running along with his squad. He ends up popping this dude in the leg, man, like, stop doing stupid shit. He's like, yo, you can't kill me, I got immunity. Which he knows, but he makes a call to the president, and the president's like, man, leave that nigga alone. Then they go on about their business. So the president is pissed off at Ren. He's like, look, man, stop creating beef, we need peace. Ren's frustrated at all this, but he's gotta listen to the president. And of course the squad listens to Ren because he's well respected. Then he goes home to his wife, has a nice quiet dinner. Then he goes back out and starts gambling with the boys until she's winning, taking all the boss's money. Then this dude standing next to him with the white shirt and jacket tells him some gangster shit about to go down. Then he gets a phone call from his brother. Ren ends up meeting up with his brother Ian, but he hasn't seen in a long time. And he needed his help with something as he started busting shots in the air. I'm like, what the fuck? And he wanted to get arrested on purpose. I'm not really sure the reason why. Well, anyway, 3 years rolls past and the president's celebrating his birthday. All the brothers doing karaoke and shit. And they get a surprise visit from Fu. Oh shit. But he's only doing a cameo, and this is the only time you see him in the whole movie. But honestly, the premise is not focused around him anyway. So as Ren and everybody's chilling back and enjoying themselves, on the other side of town, these guys are doing valet parking. And then these crazy motherfuckers come through about to conduct business. This dude with the blonde hair is named Psycho, and for good reason. So they pop up in his office, who happens to be the immunity guy's office, and he ain't got time for this shit. These niggas like, alright, you know what? These niggas start blazing. This dude chops his upper hand off. Yeah, he's crazy as fuck too. Chop that nigga fingers, done deal. They basically say, fuck your immunity. So who's running this organization of crazy motherfuckers? It's Ian. Apparently he's got control over the whole North Town region. He came all the way up in 3 years, huh? He's trying to get him to buy off the top so he can sell illegal products, but this nigga's like, nah, he ain't with it. So he makes a phone call to Ren, gives him this crazy message, and Psycho proceeds to toss this nigga off the roof. As he listens to him fall, that facial expression is hilarious. Yeah, they bout that action. They tell his man like, hey, take the money and just live longer. Yeah, he's dead as shit, and then ended up killing somebody else that was inside the car. So the squad gets the news, they're like, man, what the fuck? And our squad just chilling waiting for the boss's instructions. Meanwhile, Ren's just finding out in the news what just took place. And then they hold the funeral. And then these niggas got the nerve to show up, giving his condolences to his wife like he really cares. Then after the funeral, Ren and Ian hug it out, and he tells him about a proposition that he wants to go into business with. Then later on, they go to this abandoned lot, and bottom line, he's selling guns and drugs. Ren's got money, he's trying to keep it a respectable business, so he don't want no parts of it, really. Ian accepts it for now, but you can tell that's not gonna last much longer. Later on, they're supposed to be having a celebration for Pan, because he's talking about getting married. And they're looking at the child's grandmother, but they don't see Chow around. So they call around trying to figure out where their man's at, and he's going to some kind of meeting. But what kind of meeting is it? This nigga meets up with Ian. He wants to get into the business with Ian, but because he knows Ren and he knows Ren won't allow it, he knows that he can't by his own accord. So they give him the okay, and Psycho ends up fucking him up. Still alive, but they left him a bloody mess. He calls up Ren, tells his squad to come on through. He was like, look man, Chow tried to do this stuff behind your back, so I had to handle the business for you. Which was one thing, but he knows he's never going to make a deal with Ian. You think he's just going to get him and go about their business, but you know the brothers ain't going to let this shit slide. Especially Q, he ain't having that shit. But then Psycho and the boys antagonizing him is only going to make it worse. And after that, all hell breaks loose. Throughout all the chaos, Psycho gets a gun and kills Chow right in front of their faces. Kisses him on his forehead as they're pushing everybody back. They get back and kicks him in the pool, done deal, dead. And after all this, Ren has still got asked the boss for permission, but Q was like, yo, come on man, we gotta get these niggas. So yeah, Q's beyond pissed, but he's gotta still listen to his boss. But then he second guesses it and says, fuck that, we about to go handle these niggas. The squad about to go to a strip club, and Q and them just go wait for them niggas to come out. This nigga starts sniffing coke off of girls' backs, and he's just lit at this point. As soon as he come back outside, here comes the ambush. Yeah. They get all his niggas, including Psycho, who apparently wasn't psycho enough because he gets duffed. My man stabbed him with a machete like 15 times. Psycho done deal, dead. Then they go get something to eat and wait because they know they're going to get chewed out by the boss. Which is exactly what Ren does. But afterwards, he's like, what's done is done. Fuck it, give me some food. My man gets the word, so you know this ain't going to be good. They get the squad and the ruckus and start causing ruckus at the venues. Q and his squad end up doing the same thing. Then it all comes to a head with both squads meet up. They already know what time it is after that. Everybody get meleeed on the streets. Of course, the police end up rounding up the whole crew afterwards. He's like, why you little niggas making it hard to me do my goddamn job? Meanwhile, the construction site, the dude that killed Psycho is tied up. And they was whipping his ass something terrible. Yeah, you pretty much about to die here. Shorty sprinkles some kerosene on him and lights his ass on fire. Done deal, dead. Q gets the news and he's even more pissed off. Did they put his body in a barrel? What the fuck? Is that supposed to be his head? Like, what is that? Like, what in all of the fuck? So police chiefs come through. He's like, look, I understand your situation, but you gotta keep your mans under control. Then Ren and Q have a meeting in the office again. He's like, look, man, we gotta handle this shit, man. And Ren's not trying to take it that route because of the boss, but he's thinking to himself, he might not have a choice. Cause there ain't no turning back now. It's all about that mayhem. So Ian talking to his boss, I guess he runs like some local channels or something like that. He's trying to keep Ian under control too, but he's trying to control everything. Later on, Ren and the Scar go to the temple, and he gets his boys to pick straws on who's going to carry out a certain mission. My man Chai ends up getting the shortest straw. So Chai and Pan go to this spot, and I'm not sure exactly who he was supposed to take out. But when the lights started going off in the restaurant, Pan started getting worried, so he went out to check on him. But before he knew it, Ian spotted him. Next thing you know, a bunch of niggas started blazing. Pan was shooting back, and he got up out of there. But in doing so, he left Chai in the process. He probably thought he got killed. Chai goes back to his wife. He's packing up his things, because he got to get the fuck up out of there. By that look on her face, she don't know how long he's going to be gone or if he's ever even gonna be able to come back. And on top of that, they got a kid. More reason why he gotta get the fuck up out of there. So at the docks, Ren has a boat set up for him, and he tells him to stay away for like 20 years or something. Guess that'd be plenty of time for stuff to blow over and he can come back, I guess, but... So Pan gets on a boat and he's up out of there. Then all of a sudden we see Chai in the house like, what the fuck, he's alive? Q comes to him like, man, what the fuck happened? Chai wanted to finish off niggas, but he got scared and ran off. Now where'd he run to at that point in time? I had no idea. Then they had this long heart-to-heart about avenging their brothers because there's only two of them now. The president talks to Ren about maintaining order, control, and balance and all that. And Ren's pretty much old-fashioned too, but at this point he's kind of conflicted about still obeying the president's rules. He gets both sides of where the president and where Q's coming from. So they set up a meeting where both sides can come to an agreement with the president, Ren, Ian, student, council, all this shit. But nothing good comes of it, and Ian wants the beef. Yeah, the tension's stirring in this motherfucker. In fact, the only reason it didn't break out into all types of mayhem because the police chief was there. On the way back, Q's riding with the president. He tells Q's story about peace times and what Gatao really means. He tells him it wasn't about a gang of gangsters, it was about soldiers looking for peace. And while he's talking, you can tell the president's been having heart problems. He needs his medicines and stuff like that. Q's listening, but he really not trying to hear none of that shit off the strength that, his peoples is dying. So they get back to the house, they have a heated argument, and his blood pressure's right up and he needs his pills. But as he's getting the pills, he stops for a minute. See, the president's all about peace, but Q knows that shit ain't happening right now, so... And on top of that, he knows that Ren's going to keep listening to the president. So Ren makes this crazy-ass decision not to give the president the pills, and he ends up dying on the couch. Like, what the fuck, dude? He's sitting there the whole time, even after Ren comes, after the ambulance comes, all that shit. Ren's like, what the fuck, dude? And he notices the bottle of pills and tea that he never gave to the president. Yeah, put two and two together. So at the funeral, Q wants to ride with Ren back in the way, but Ren is like, nah, I got my own car. Separation within the ranks right now, but we don't need that. We need y'all to come together to fight these other niggas off. Then we find out that Pan sent out a letter to Ren, Q, and Pan's wife. In the letter, he talks about he misses everybody, like he can't stay out here for the next 20 years. All he's doing is drinking and everything. He misses his family out there. He misses everybody. And the further it goes in the letter, the further it sounds like a suicide letter. And yeah, he did commit suicide. He jumped off the top of a 20-story building, done deal, dead. Yeah, Q, everybody dying left and right, man. They had the funeral, and of course the wife is pissed off at both of them because he really wasn't supposed to join the crew in the first place. Yeah, some wild shit. So since the president's dead and everybody keeps dying, Ren starts listening to Q for real. He takes a meeting with Ian. Goes home to kiss his daughter. Tells his wife he's coming back, but she has serious doubts about that. You can tell this one of them things where she's like, damn, this nigga's not coming back. And then the meeting with Ian. Turns out Ren and Ian are not even actually brothers. They're just really close friends, or they were a long time ago. Turns out Ian knew exactly how this was going to go, and he knew Ren wasn't going to fall for the shit. Or, go for any of his deals. So he's like, fuck it, I might as well just get you done here right now. So you thinking to yourself at this point, Ren's about to be done deal out here in these streets. After that, Ian goes to his boss about expansion, but he don't want to have nothing to do with it at this point. So his right-hand man about to shoot the boss. I'm like, are you serious? And right before Ren was about to get done deals, people's come in and save the day. Then it becomes an all-out shootout. Then the police come, they don't even bother to run. Next thing you know, Ren's come through visiting people in jail, and Q's in there, but he ain't gonna be in there long. He gonna do everything in his power to get him out. And as far as Ian goes, they said nobody's heard from him or seen him or anything. Then we get a flashback to when Ian and Ryan first met each other or whatever, they helped each other out. Then we get this image of Ian getting shot. Like, what the fuck? So his right-hand man turned on him. But why? Because of the money. He probably want to be in charge of this shit. Then we get this image of the time when the president was happy with a whole bunch of girls. And that's how the movie ends. On happy times. But I already know there's a part 3. I definitely got to see that. Gatao 2, Rise of the King on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Slick DZ, all DZ, mister. Big, the goddamn slogan.